Selectmen at 6:30 p.m. First order of business, pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jim coming in for the tax collector.
No, it's not the hearing, you're just sending the date.
Yeah.
I did send you the public hearing notice, but that's just, so it was a placeholder into the packet.
So you want to set the date for November 13th?
Did you want
6:30 p.m.
visitors' comments from?
I'll just go through some of this.
Okay.
I'm just gonna jump around a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, I would make a motion to set the tax classification hearing date for November 13th at 6:30 p.m.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Scott, report please.
Well, the biggest thing is that we have the new pump station being started. So they dug out the ledge to put the wet well in, and I think after today they're done until the wet well gets delivered. Everything went pretty well with the tie-in and everything. They seem like they're pretty good contractors, so I have no negative things to say about them. We did have an odor complaint from the force main down in Gilbertville, so we did turn up the odor control chemical. And we had a couple sewer calls that ended up being on personal property, so it's up to the residents to handle those, unfortunately for them. Pretty much all I have.
Any questions?
No, this is good.
Everybody okay from the little incident?
Yes. We will not be using chainsaws in this department anymore.
Thank you, Scott. Sewer abatement.
You have one in your packet. This is a gentleman on the sewer system, obviously. We've been charging 2 ADUs and he's got one.
I wondered, because it was a single address, but those
Yeah.
seemed high. I was like, what's going on? Okay.
So, you know, I think that we should just abate the one that they've been charged. That's the one, and they'll just be paying one from now on.
So we've rectified how to make it go forward.
Yes, we can,
Okay.
the assessors have done the site visit to make sure that it is a single-family home, so we'll be able to change it in the system, but they've been charged for 2, so I just want to abate the last 2. They've been charged for 4, so to give them 2 back, and they'll just be charged for 2.
So are we abating 2263.93?
Yeah, that's half of the sewer, and then we can ourselves get rid of the interest in the demands.
Okay, all right, so it's just this amount, the 2263?
Yes, and that's what I have here on this sheet.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't mean abate on this little, you know, it's what Jessica's able to take out of the
Get rid
system
of
without
for-
doing an
yeah.
actual abatement.
Yeah.
So they're gonna abate it for now and then next year.
From now on, they'll just
Right.
be having one, yes.
Right.
Yep.
So do I move that we accept the correction? Or if we're not abating it?
Well, we have to abate this one.
Okay, I
Yeah.
move that we vote to agree with this abatement. 2263.93.
I second that.
Moved and seconded. Any more
Just sign
discussion?
all 3 if you don't mind.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay. We'll sign the warrant
Yep.
for the special
Have
state
that.
election.
Paper.
We don't need to vote on it.
I would just
Make a
it
motion
official.
to,
Make a motion to hold the special state election 7 a.m., 8 p.m. Hardwick Elementary School, 76 Schoolhouse Drive.
I would make a motion as noted.
That's Brian.
Second.
No reason to say all that over again.
Any further discussion?
Oh, on the other new business?
No, we're
Oh,
still on
sorry,
warrant.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
I thought that's what
I
you were
just
at.
wanted to make sure we did this. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right. Nicole.
The Hardwick New Braintree Cultural Council came in and they have voted to bring Jacqueline Cole Goddard onto the board, and so it's just recommended from the Cultural Council that Jacqueline Cole Goddard is appointed to the Cultural Council.
Thank you.
You could do a 1, 2, or 3-year appointment if you so choose. This is what I got from them.
Okay.
So,
Do we want to do, I mean, I'll make the motion. Do they prefer 1, 2, or 3, or does it?
no, they didn't say anything, so.
Well, then why don't I make a motion to approve the recommendation from the Hardwick New Braintree Cultural Council to appoint Jacqueline Cole Goddard to their board for a 1-year term.
I'll second it.
Perfect.
Moving second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I have one more thing. If you guys are voting to put the tax classification hearing, should you be voting for, we have an all alcohol liquor license to put it in the paper, we're gonna have it on November 13th. Do you have to vote to have it on November 13th, or it just comes in front of you? The public hearing
No,
notice
I
will be.
think as long as it's posted, it can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
come in front of us.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that can just be on our agenda. That-
Very good.
You guys have anything else for other new business?
Nope.
Kelly, you good?
I'm good.
Are you just?
Well, you seem to have skipped the visitor comments section, number 3
I'm
on the
skipping
agenda.
around.
Oh, I'm sorry, just wanted to make sure.
Okay, meeting minute approvals. September 25th, 2023. Have you guys reviewed them?
I would make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from September 25th, 2023.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A lot of meeting minutes for that day. Instead of double copy. Old business, request for proposal to discuss oversight. The
Yeah,
oversight for the sewer.
Right, we talked about that last time when you were not feeling well, that we probably should have a working meeting for that. Like schedule that as a working meeting to go through.
When would you like to schedule it?
Whatever's convenient for you guys.
I mean, it might need to be its own meeting rather than take up an hour of our regular meeting, you know.
Yeah, we can each, you brought one in, I can bring in a couple, we can
Yeah,
kick it
and kind
around.
of go through and
Yeah.
highlight what is good, whatever, you know, right?
Yeah,
And kind of piece it together.
might do evening is gonna be best for you guys, right?
And I mean, at that rate, we could even do Zoom if it's just for that,
Maybe easier.
you know.
Good.
The 6th, we don't have a meeting.
Next Monday?
I could do that.
What time are we proposing?
That's up to you.
We do 7 if we're gonna do Zoom?
That's fine. You
Yeah.
can do 7.
Good.
Okay.
I'll just write working session.
Yeah.
No. They signed it somewhere.
Yeah, no, I have it, I just was gonna keep it, but if you need that.
So we said 7?
Yeah, 11/6.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Eric Walheim's disclosures. 2 special employee positions. Board of Selectmen and Emergency Management Director.
Do you want me to explain? I'm supposed to leave the room now.
You want to explain that you're supposed to leave the room? To explain your
Can you
disclosure
explain why?
form?
Yeah, I can explain the whole thing. I did last time. I took ethics training, and this year they had a new wrinkle, and because I get paid $2,200 to be the emergency management director, and I think $1,600 to be a selectman, and one is supervisory. I can't get paid for both of them unless I file a disclosure, which I've done, and with Brian. But the next thing is the selectmen have to vote to accept my disclosure. So that's my explanation, and now I was told to leave the room.
So
I'll come back.
Discuss and vote on it?
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
I have rules.
Put your hands over your ears or something?
I have absolutely no issues with this.
No.
He's been the emergency director for a long time, he does a great job.
20-something years.
And, yeah, I have absolutely no issues with this whatsoever.
I'm with you.
Do you want me to make a motion to, I would make a motion to accept his disclosure as stated, and I guess it says down here, approve the exemption.
I'll second that. One second. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Should I go get it?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Really felt bad making them walk.
Can you sign
Sign up.
and I'll take a photo of it and sign it.
What happened?
No.
Of course, it's approved.
Thank you.
Yeah, any of those business?
Oh darn it, I have something in new business. Other new business.
All right, let's go back to that before we reorganize.
The bids were opened, and you wanna take this down, the memo was sent from PPC, I forwarded it to you, that the low bidder is Waterline Industries, in the amount of 7344677, contingent, of course, USDA has to approve this, but I need your, approval, that they are recommending that we conditionally award Project 2A, Wheelwright WPCF Upgrades Project to Waterline Industries Corporation, for the total bid in the amount of 7344677, contingent upon USDA town approvals.
So I was going with one alternative. then?
The one alternative.
Alternative one.
Scott, do you want to add anything to this?
I can't believe the prices, but no, they're both reputable companies.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I mentioned to Nicole before the weekend when, we weren't sweating. I think we all worried that the delay would cause this to happen. COVID caused this to happen. It had nothing to do with the delay. Because even if we were doing this a year ago, these prices may actually be higher. Because we're starting to see things go down.
It's just so unfortunate that we have to use all these optional things.
So,
We're not even gonna get a
unfortunately,
new pump station in Wheelwright. I mean,
Yeah.
It's beyond its last leg.
So this took the pump station out of Wheelwright? This removed the pump station option from Wheelwright?
No, there was a, what's the word I'm looking for? There was 5 potential add-ons at the
Right.
risk of
Alternates.
enrollment.
Right,
And I think the pump station was number 5, so that won't be done under this grant. The pump station will still be active, and it will still be falling apart.
Well, I mean, that's something that we could always look at.
Is that right,
Yeah.
though, that
Our own money.
5, is it 5A or was it 5B?
I don't know.
I'd have to go
I'm
back
not
and
sure
look
either.
back
Yeah.
through emails. I know.
Can I recommend that we have a meeting on Thursday? Could we try to look into the alternate, find out 5A and 5B, because it's $200,000. That sound right for the pump station?
Yep.
We'd have to go back to USDA, but he is correct, that pump station is the one thing that we probably spend probably $15,000 to $20,000 a year on all the time.
It's 50 years old, and I've seen them 20 years younger just implode.
So what's alternative at 1? Remind me.
I don't remember that either.
Do you remember? I know.
I should have
It's
brought
been
the-
so long. No, it's
It's
fine.
been a long time, yeah, and there's been a lot of other things going on, so.
The pump station didn't get replaced back
No.
last time around?
No, it's from 1973, and it's an air ejection station which became obsolete in the 80s.
You know, that's why you lose retained earnings too for things like this.
Do you have that Thursday meeting?
The
Still?
special time meeting.
No, yeah, but earlier in the
Yeah,
day, you
10.
have, the
Yes.
meeting with the engineer.
Yes.
Would
Yep.
it make sense? I think you usually, I don't.
I do. Yep, no, I jump on
Maybe you guys can get some more insight. and-
to see, yeah, to see, I mean, and can we ask USDA, can we use retained earnings to add something back in? Can we do that? I mean, if that's that serious of an issue, then we need to have that conversation with them to make sure that they're okay with it.
That's a good idea.
I mean, you have them, and that's exactly what they should be used for.
I
Exactly.
think we're tied to it.
We have to, yeah, we have to move forward regardless, but let's see what we can do to be creative to get that back
Right.
on the list.
Okay.
You know, I agree, you know, we do have to keep
Oh, yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah, we need to move forward, but I think it is a pretty
Yeah,
soft spot in the system, so it needs to get repaired.
and, you know, look at the other things too, Scott, and just double check that there isn't something else that's, you know, equally important for it.
Okay.
Because I can't remember what the,
I'll
I
have
remember
Justin
having
send it out
the
to us
meter,
Yeah, some are
yeah.
minor, like
And then we
the
can talk
roof
about
being
it, you know,
redone because the
yeah.
roof leaks. I mean, we could probably have someone come in and do it a lot less than these contractors
than
are willing
that,
to go
yeah.
for.
Right,
Someone local.
yeah. Do you want a motion that kind of says all that?
Or we just wait for a motion on Thursday.
Do you want to do that? Oh, special, like the special town meeting?
You can just add it
I can add it, so I have till
Is it okay to
tomorrow
wait?
night.
Is it
Yeah.
okay to wait for that? Okay.
Oh, well, we have 30 days,
Okay, okay,
so,
perfect,
30, so we have until November 26th, honestly, or something like that.
okay.
Okay.
in. I hate to push it off, but
It's good, it's
No,
good
just,
questions.
yeah,
all right. Reorganization. I really would like to not be chair, so.
fair enough. You've had your fill?
I just don't have time to be involved this. I need to be more involved, and I don't have time to be more involved.
That's understandable. That's definitely understandable.
Easy.
So I nominate Kelly.
I am going to decline that nomination. I appreciate it, and I know it's probably in order or in, you know, what is typically done, but I have other things going on in my world right now that I'm not going to, I'm always here, I'm not, you know, happy to help whatever I can, but I think if you're willing to do that, Eric,
If you guys will step, yeah.
you may have the time to do that.
All right. Well,
Then I would nominate Eric as chair.
I second that. I guess. Any discussion?
I'm gonna abstain.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Meeting is yours, my friend.
Oh, really?
See how well that works?
Should we go through the other vice chair and clerk,
I
just to tidy up?
nominate Kelly, well, you are vice chair.
I am, so I'm happy to stay there.
All right, and then
I'm happy to be nothing.
no, you're then the clerk.
You're gonna
Oh.
be clerk.
Okay,
I'm good for that.
all right.
Perfect.
Okay. So, I think we have visitor comments that have been waiting patiently. Please, sir.
Thank you. My name's Jeffrey Smith. I live on Upper Church Street. I brought some printouts for each of you. What I have is a table that describes the current state of the meeting minutes and some questions that I have for you. I was ignored in my last set of questions when I came last meeting. It concerns me about the state of the meeting minutes for this board. Only 2 of the last 7 meetings since the improper July 18th meeting have minutes posted on the town website. It's been 104 days since July 18th. The minutes were approved at the August 28th meeting, which was 63 days ago. The town has 45 days by law to approve meeting minutes, or to get them posted.
The meetings.
Of the 25 completed Board of Select meetings this year so far, minutes haven't been posted for 16 meetings. 11 are more than 100 days old. 3 of those are 200 days old. 8 are still awaiting approval, assuming they'll be done at all. These questions are with regards to the conflicts of interest with the board in the July 18th meeting and all of the votes that have taken place with the Casella landfill. Like, why is the draft agreement up on the website? Why is the presentation on the website? Why wasn't the meeting stopped? Because 2 members had conflicts of interest that they declared themselves. So I was hoping these questions could be addressed in the meeting tonight.
Well, I can address the minutes.
Please.
They're up. They're there.
On the website,
She
I
put
was
them
there
up.
tonight.
Julie says they're up. Sandy says they're up.
I'm on the website just before this meeting tonight. I've been watching it
Maybe they're on
every
My
single
Town
day.
Gov. They're up where they need to
I am
be.
exactly on My Town. I'm looking at the link from the website to My Town.
Did you hit refresh? Because sometimes
I
okay.
refresh, yes.
I can
200 days, it's in the table right there. It's right from the website. That's exactly what's on there as of before
They're
I
all
came to
done
this
and they're
meeting.
all approved. They just approved September 25th, so.
I'm sending in
everything is before.
requests for them, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting.
Wednesday is the 10th day, and that's when I will be replying.
But it's 60-some days since they were approved. Why does it take so long to get these meeting minutes?
There's gotta be something with our webmaster and with my administrative assistant, must have some sort of miscommunication, because as far as we are all concerned, the meeting minutes are done and they're up. I ask, are the meeting minutes up? Yes, they are. Okay. So, and we know they're done. She's caught up to September 25th. So we're not, they're somewhere.
So it's routine
they're
when the
not
minutes
here.
are done to wait until the very last of the 10 days before you give them to someone then?
Absolutely not. Your public records request was sent to me, and I have until Wednesday to get back to you. And it's a very quick response, but I have a lot of things going on, so I have a tick file waiting to respond to you on Wednesday.
I'll make
But
another
they-
request for the missing meeting minutes that are not on the.
But they are there, and that's
They
what
are
my
not.
answer is going to be.
They are not.
Okay.
That is my
fine,
answer.
Enough.
Okay.
I'll, from my great power now, I will look into this and we'll make it right.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. Thanks for pointing it out.
The conflicts of interest?
If you have any specific questions, let's get them out.
In the July 18th meeting, you said that you had conflicts of interest. You have filed a form the day after the meeting How is it on the day before the meeting you didn't know of these conflicts?
Are you making, I'd like to know what you're getting at. What are you getting at?
There's no conflict of interest formed from Mr. Ruggles, even though in multiple meetings he said he has one.
I believe he stated he may have one.
Well, then there's at least the appearance now, right? Shouldn't it require a form?
Not
Fill out a form.
necessarily,
You know what?
sir.
I'll fill out a form, I'll submit it. I don't necessarily have to, but.
I don't understand. Why don't you have to?
Because I don't technically have one. According to the ethics, I have no
You've
financial.
contacted state ethics.
I have no financial ties to Roach or Casella. That's how ethics works. If you have any financial ties, I can be good friends with them, I can know somebody. That is not an ethical conflict.
But you've had at least 3 meetings where you brought up these conflicts.
Because I was looking into it. Because to me, it's not just, it's a moral conflict and an ethical conflict. So I am going to stand down from voting on this stuff because I have close ties to the Roach family and stuff like that. And I don't think this town will accept that as a non-ethical, even though according to legally, it's not an ethical problem. I don't believe anybody in this room that's against what they're asking for would consider that a real, like me being good friends with them, working for them for years, working for both companies at one, I worked with Casella for years. Do you consider that an ethical violation?
I'm concerned because I've seen what you and heard what you've said in your meetings where you say there's a conflict.
We have not voted.
And then it's as though it's just evaporates and not addressed.
I want everybody to take a step back. I know everybody is on edge about this thing. At this point, they have not applied for anything. They have given us a host community agreement. A draft of a host community agreement. They have had a presentation. There has been no votes on anything.
There were votes on both of those things.
If I may, we voted
There
to
were votes.
accept their presentation. That's all.
It's still a vote. At what point do you decide
How do
what's
you-
not
how do
important
you-
enough that you can break the law?
We
and you
never
can't
did this
repent?
before.
Because when
How
we
would you have
talked to
handled,
legal-
excuse me, how would you have handled that? Should we have just stayed mute?
Have you
Should we
filed an
not-
opinion with the
excuse
State
me?
Ethics Commission?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry?
Should we have not put the draft post-community agreement out before the public?
It should have been shelved entirely.
Bullshit.
Oh, bullshit.
Why
is that bullshit?
We have to make these decisions.
No, you do not. It was not an emergency at all.
You're way ahead of me on all the rules and regs. I'm sorry, sir. I don't know.
How
what
can
to
that
tell
be?
you.
Don't you read the Massachusetts handbook for selectmen? Aren't you supposed to have certifications from state ethics?
We're volunteers.
That's the excuse? That's the excuse that you can break the law?
How did we, what did
think-
we break for the town? What
We've
rules
broken
and
no
regulations
laws.
have we caused?
But you could follow the handbook and get an opinion from the State Ethics Commission.
We're waiting to see what's next. We don't know there's no sense.
But there's already been a
forward.
series of steps. Why are you waiting?
There are no steps.
Draft host community agreement, which was probably a memorandum of understanding,
It's a draft host community.
but you looked up on the page and were seeing memorandum of host, or memorandum of understanding, and that's what
mistake. That's
confused
what
you.
I meant.
Why was it a mistake?
Because I had written memorandum of agreement above it for CMRPC, for the regional planning agency, so I made a mistake and wrote that below. I mean, sorry, I'm human, once in a while I make a mistake.
But all these
I didn't
mistakes
mean
seem to
memorandum
fall
of
in this
understanding.
favor of this way.
And again, what are you implying? I mean,
I'm just
I'd
asking
be
why these
happy
things aren't being handled above board with the Massachusetts handbook
To finish my
guidance.
sentence, I'd be happy to
Sorry.
swear to being incompetent and lazy and goofy. Is there anything else?
I'm done.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. Thanks for bringing this up. I'll look at all these and we'll get back to you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just on the subject of the minutes, I just wanted to point out one thing I think I saw that might explain some of the confusion perhaps. is that,
You don't have to speak for the select board, sir, thank you. If that's what you're getting ready to do,
no.
let's just, okay, fine, carry on.
I was gonna say, on the website, the minutes for the select board are posted a little differently than for other commissions and boards. They're attached as separate documents, which perhaps you didn't see. And most of them, not all of them, have been there, but they're just posted a little differently. They're not in the normal place on my.gov where it says minutes attached, minutes available. And you click there and you see the minutes. In this case, it's a separate document, but on the same page. And I'd suggest perhaps that you look there and see whether some of the gaps are not present.
Maybe we can come in tomorrow, maybe you can come in and help me and we'll clear this up.
Take a look.
If I may interject, it's probably just Sandy's just putting them in the wrong location, is more than likely all that it is.
Sandy gives them to Julie. So
Okay, well
maybe it was set up differently for select board, for the selectmen, when it was set up. She just gives them to Julie and Julie puts them up.
Okay.
All right, we'll double check all this.
Yep,
The idea was to
absolutely.
be as transparent as possible.
That's the idea.
Which you are.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if this is for public comment since we aren't on the
Can
agenda.
you put the hammer down?
Well, I called a meeting of the Board of Health, will come to order because there's two of us here.
You're not posted.
So I can't talk to you as the Board of Health when there's another board member present, so. We had discussed in the last select board meeting having the Board of Health asked to have time with KP Law, our lawyer, and to get basic advice on what we should be doing as a Board of Health and how it would come down if they indeed submit, or if they have submitted. It's equivocal whether it's submitted or it's going to be submitted. But we still have, as the Board of Health, need to know how to proceed. So we are reiterating our Board of Health request to meet with KP Law because the board feels, I hope,
The board, are you, sir, on the board?
Yes.
we need time and to study the possible health ramifications, an objective long-term amount of time to study the health effects of having a solid waste landfill in Hardwick.
And if I could address this, if I can just jump in here, if you would give us some of the questions that you want answered,
Well, I think that
then we
our
could,
physician advisors would be able to do that. We are volunteers just like you, and so we want to be ready if indeed we are called upon to rule on a site assignment or whatever.
I thought we agreed to this at our last meeting, Eric.
Yeah, you did.
We went.
just a blank check to
Well,
contact.
No, that you're gonna have a joint meeting.
A joint meeting.
Okay, all right,
Right.
so,
But that's
So,
been denied.
it wasn't denied, if I may.
by who?
It was approved. I said to Judy, I'm meeting with KP Law if you want to come and meet with me and ask them some questions. So she asked
I
them
did,
some questions and, about the process and what happens with it. And it was Attorney Jeff Blake. Yep. And, he sort of went over the process and that the Board of Health will have to give a site assignment in the event they apply, but also very much reiterated, first and foremost, as a board, you don't just, and I'm simply stating what the attorneys say, right? What did he keep saying to you? Don't just go down this road that's going to be negative to the project. If you're going to go down a road that's negative to the project, then you also need to go down a road that's positive for the project. So as the board, to automatically and already go against the project is not, it was advised against. And he also advised us against taking any action until the applicant applies for something. So it's,
I think you're
because we saw that.
paraphrasing conversations that I either can't remember or don't retain. And I don't think it went that way. And besides, it's not my position, even as chair of the Board of Health, to tell the board and the Physicians Advisory Panel what was said in a conversation that suddenly came.
Okay, so let's have a joint meeting like we talked about.
Yes.
And then my concern is that we're running up legal fees to beat the band, okay? So it's not a lot of money.
Everywhere.
But I'd like to try to, it's
What we
clear to me, please, it's clear to me that if you, I think what Nicole is saying, that if you take a negative position, if you use the Board of Health to squash Casella's ideas, it puts the town at risk for lawsuits because you are an elected official, okay? So what I want to do is approach KP Law, which is very expensive, with clear questions that you have. And now it's me, and I have to make sure I'm happy with that. So we need to have
I
a meeting
understand
where we
that.
can talk about this, and I'm happy to talk with the physicians. I know them very well. I think I'm not off base here.
No, we want the select board and the town's lawyer to talk to the Board of Health en masse.
Yeah.
It doesn't for the benefit of all the citizens who are up in arms, putting signs out, pressuring the Board of Health to do something, pressuring, I don't know who else, because I
Maybe
can't
some
attend.
selectmen too.
Yeah, so this is not helpful for the people of Hardwick to be engaged at this level of stress at this time.
And
And if we can come to a determination with our lawyers of the procedural methods, we don't even know if that draft agreement that is advertising Casella on the website, our town website, is even a proposal or not. It's out there. It's out there in the public. The minute they come on, they can see the banner, which is a headline. It's a soundbite that I'm not going to even repeat.
And you're way off Board of Health purview right here, aren't you? I mean,
Well, perhaps I'm speaking as a citizen,
okay, so
but
change
I'm
topics.
also speaking as a person who has a history of making advertising, and I understand the money that has been spent to produce that production that we are showing again and again to anybody in town who is curious about what it says. And we have no countering, the Board of Health has no countering evidence, and we would like to gather that evidence and be prepared for when legally and procedurally these come to us to rule on.
Okay. What do you propose for the next step?
Well, I just hope we try to have this meeting that we proposed the last time.
Okay, let's find a time when that's...
Or even if the lawyer will come to the Board of Health
I think that's a good idea.
and
And the selectmen, where we have a joint meeting.
yeah, well, that was added in, and we offered to pay for it.
I think it's a good idea to meet the Board of
Yeah.
Health with the Select Board.
And we
so you
did
can all
last time.
understand
Let's
each other's
do it,
roles.
let's do it ourselves, and then if we have a list of particulars, we'll go to the lawyer, and we'll either bring him in, or we'll talk to him on the screen, or...
I
But there
did,
may not be an understanding amongst the group here of what the role of the Board of Health versus the Select Board. So I think having a legal rendering is very important. even just an hour of their time to clarify what the role of the Board of Health in this, unless somebody here can explain what the role of the Board of Health in the site assignment is, I think you should have legal counsel.
Okay,
I think that's
I
it.
think and one of the tasks of the selectmen is to, the select board, is to pay the bill. So that's where I want to also worry about it.
Yeah.
Ernie, do you have any comments?
Not at this time.
Ernie, does
I
this,
was under the impression that was this meeting, that's all.
Yeah,
So
that-
that's what I was under the impression. Not that the lawyer would be here, but that we were here to talk about it, so.
Yeah, the lawyer was also going to be here.
who said,
Jeff Blake,
who's he?
he is the one
He's a
I
landfill
had
expert.
an initial conversation.
He's the lawyer. He said he'd be here?
No, we together planned to meet with him here tonight.
Okay, well,
He
it's news
said-
to me, so that's all.
Right.
He
I'm
said on the
just
phone
behind
that
it.
he strongly suggests that we wait until something is applied for. However, as the boards, you can make your own decisions on what,
We don't want to wait.
Wait, let her finish. The board, what board? The Board of Health?
any elected board, you know,
Can
you
make their
can
own
make a
decision with
decision
regards to what?
on how you want to proceed. If you feel that strongly, then, you know, I'm sure, everything's hypothetical, but I'm sure the attorney would answer questions. And he just advised,
The role of the Board of Health is not hypothetical.
no, but there's
When
no
it comes to site
application
assignments
right
for
now.
landfill.
So site assignment, he said, yes, the board will issue a site assignment. The board has to, and so does the state.
And how do you prepare, how does the Board of Health prepare for that to be objective? It's definitely, it has to be objective, it's not a
That's huge.
predetermined decision.
Yeah.
You have to have engineering, you
Right,
have to have
exactly.
you
That's
have
what
to
you have
have an application.
The
Then you
HCA
have peer review.
qualifies, I think, opens the door to anticipation of potential health effects, health and safety effects. There's plenty of data particular to this site that's already on the record.
I've been through boxes of it.
Yep, so to say that it's not a threat at this time,
I didn't say that.
okay. So I think the Board of Health can act. Judy, or whoever is next on the Board of Health is gonna have to have that information and be in preparation. It's a job to take seriously. Health and safety is a very, very critical role. So I think having legal counsel well in advance, preemptively, is very important. And the Physicians Advisory Group recommends to the Board of Health that you get legal counsel.
Right.
I mean, that's.
So the legal
pretty
counsel
basic.
is going to
They'll
say
pay
that
for
you
it.
have to get
We'll pay
site
for it.
assignment, you have to give
We'll
site
get an hour.
assignment.
We'll
We're not.
Simple.
Yeah, we
You,
don't.
the role of the Board of Health is to
They
give a
did
site
not.
assignment. And it,
You don't know that. There's other
the
roles.
attorney said that.
That's not the only role.
We want to hear it from
We
the
want to
lawyer.
hear from, we don't, yeah, it's, all the rest is hearsay, coming from you, no offense, or anybody else.
Well, Judy was there, so.
Okay, but no, what I'm saying is that the other roles, can I just finish? The other roles needs to come from legal counsel as to what
Would you
the,
like to be recognized? All right, are you,
no, I'm just saying that legal counsel's important.
a necessary component to
Yeah,
this?
to guiding the Board of Health going forward.
And I know, Rob, but I have one added.
Excuse me, please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Are you guys willing to pay for this?
We will if we have to.
No.
Individually? How much for an hour?
You are speaking, she is a Board of Health member.
Yeah,
She cannot do that.
yeah.
Are you as this
Physician advisory
physician
panel, yeah.
advisory are willing to
So
pay for
you're
this
asking
time?
me to pay for legal counsel for the Board of Health?
Well,
Is that what you're asking me,
you just
Rob?
said you would, so I'm asking.
No, make your statement.
Yes, are you willing to pay for the time?
Individually, as a taxpayer or as an individual?
It's not a real
No.
question.
Weird.
Sorry.
So that's confrontational, Rob. That's weird. That's a
Well,
confrontational question.
My problem here is, anybody can go pay for legal advice, all right? We are like 40 feet in front of what you guys, and he asked this earlier, why we didn't do all this work ahead of time, ahead of the meeting. And I just want to explain this. Like, ahead of those meetings, we don't know what's going to be asked. We really don't. We don't know what's gonna truly be proposed, we don't know what's gonna be asked, we don't know what's actually coming forward yet for what they're going to wanna, to zone change and all that. And I understand there's some stuff, but they have not presented to the town and to the planning board, they haven't applied for anything. And I know everybody's gonna tell me, well, it's coming, I understand it's coming. But our legal costs, just for one meeting that these people keep complaining that we did wrong, was nearly $1,500 for us to just get legal advice because of something. So we're building all these legal bills, and all I can say is there are ways, like the planning board has a way that they do things. It's already set, we have bylaws and stuff. If you want to know how things are going to set forward, Mr. Smith spent a bunch of time going through legal stuff, telling us how we were doing our job wrong. You know, the information is out there. Until these guys apply, I don't really, if you want to create a list of questions, I'm more than happy to sit down with the Board of Health and have a list of
But you're
questions
not an
when
attorney.
they apply. And then go to legal and say, okay, they've applied, they're moving forward for certain. They may walk out the door right now. I mean, you drive through this town, there's no signs everywhere, stop the landfill. They may turn around and say, you know what, it's not worth the fight. And meanwhile, this town has spent maybe $10,000 on legal fees that we might not have to. So I do agree with you guys that this is maybe something we need to talk about, but, I mean, that's just my personal thing.
Okay, so, we're gonna go to Robert's Rules of Order, okay? Means that if you want to speak, the chair will recognize you. If you speak to the same subject for more than 2 different times, probably, if there's time, we go on. But this back and forth stuff, it's not, can't do it, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Just very, very quick. So the Board of Health is part of the town. So do they have, I mean, doesn't the Board of Health, like the Board of Selectmen, have access to a legal counsel for an hour? I'm not quite done, hang on a second. So if there are a specific set of questions that everybody agrees on, and it's an hour, and yes, I have a billion lawyers myself, they're $700 an hour, they're ridiculous, I get it. But there are certain questions I think do need to be cleared up, regardless of if we don't have this or not. Once they put that paper down, you know the clock starts. That's not the time to start engaging and figuring out what your next steps are going to be. Why don't you allow the Board of Health to have this hour, meet with these guys, get these questions done, give them some level set so they know their next steps. Casella's rich. They're brutal. We all know it. So if they want to take that next step, they know the clock is running. They know they're going to put the Board of Health and they're going to be at an advantage. So why don't we figure out a way to get those questions done, pay the $700, make it an hour, so we all have the right questions, get the answers, and make sure our Board of Health of our town has that opportunity. And I'm done.
I would,
Didn't we just agree to this?
what?
Didn't we just agree to just that?
Yeah,
Well, we
Okay,
got a little
ma'am.
pushback, Kelly, in the middle there.
please. Traditionally, it goes through the selectmen because
Yeah.
they sign the checks.
Yeah, I
Okay?
understand, that's why I'm
My
asking.
concern is that we don't get into a fishing expedition or
No.
that we get into going on, and starting to wave banners using our elected boards. That's what I'm thinking about. So we can take hours to do this. But personally, I'd like to see a list of questions or some kind of an outline.
Well, that's easy.
Okay, well, fine, then let's do it that way. And as soon as you get that to me, we'll make a meeting. Okay?
No, I'd rather see a meeting scheduled,
Okay?
and that gives me a deadline. I want to add that after the phone conversation, I learned that Jeff Blake, our lawyer, was presenting to the Ware Board of Health on the assignment of, or approval of, that recycling center across from Janine's down there. And so I went to that Board of Health meeting and watched that board, a 3, 4, 5 member board, dialoguing with the lawyer and the company lawyer, and revising each of the statements under the agreement. And a lot of things came to light. Like, one is that you can't have a landfill in a public park or privately fishing wildlife, you know, and all kinds of ideas about how to write an agreement that both parties will sign with the lawyers present. That's how that process will work.
Okay, but that's not where we are now.
No.
Negotiation is way, I think, down the line.
Right.
There's another point.
Yep.
I think a lot of this is going through zoning, and the planning board commonly would force the applicant to buy the lawyer's time or the engineer's time. It's in our bylaws. So there, it's not a question of money. And this is not a question of money in the sense that it's talking about stuff that's precious to us and very valuable. And I think everybody in the room agrees to that. So, anything else?
Can we limit him to 1 hour?
I think we should
I think
have,
the Board of Health
if he's here, I'd just soon he get all the questions that we can think of and get the answers and not tie ourselves to an hour. Personally, I want to see where it's headed, or what the direction is. I want to see some of the questions ahead of time. And I'm serious that if we get into becoming crusaders using town offices, we're going to screw ourselves up.
I don't think we're the least bit headed in that direction.
Okay, well, I don't-
Because of our roles as elected health officials, as elected town officials.
And as
we
elected town
cannot
officials, we have to actually represent everybody in town.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, I think having him reiterate what he
Excuse me?
told me on the phone is gonna be good for the TV, so she can watch it forever. Keep watching it and
We'll figure
understanding
this
it.
out, thank you.
Yeah.
What? Say it again?
No, if he comes here and that he's just gonna tell exactly
I
what Eric
would, I would
said.
like to have a legal pad, a yellow legal pad in front of me. So we'll do it. We'll talk about how we're gonna do it. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Thank you very much.
Could I get a motion to adjourn?
As long as there's some more things on the agenda that I don't know if you'll want to
Are
get.
they very important?
Well, I don't know.
Committee reports, and,
Are there any committees here to report? Any miscellaneous correspondence?
No.
Town administrator report?
I was late giving it to you, I sent it to you today. But if you just wanna look it over yourself, I put them up on the website, and, if you want me to go through
That'll
it,
be fine.
they're all, okay.
Signatures and approvals, we've done it. Select board roundtable, anybody want to apologize to me?
Nope, I'm good. You're doing a great job.
I do apologize.
Keep up the
yeah.
good work. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
And you know, this is the one motion that you don't ask for, there's no discussion allowed. A motion to adjourn cannot be contested at all. If it's seconded, it goes to a vote. All in favor?